boy bEw recording, I guess, the first official episode of the new podcast from the pond called Underwater. I say the tables are turned because our usual podcast host, Mr. Rogatashi, is now in the guest seat. Rogue, welcome.
Thank you, man. It's nice to not have to do the prep work this time.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how much prep work actually goes into any of these pods. I guess just to get into the concept here. Yeah, we want to keep underwater light. We want to keep it fun, a bit topical, and have it just be more like friends hanging out on a couch, shooting the shit, talking about whatever's going on in crypto or even the broader zeitgeist for a given week. And yeah, hopefully people like it. If you think it sucks, hit me up and let me know, and I'll try to make it suck less. Yeah, I guess with that out of the way, how you doing, Rogue? What's going on?
I'm doing good. Took a little vacay recently, which was nice. Got to hang out with the homie Grug, so that was cool. And now just watching Bitcoin here. We're at a really interesting spot. It's we've got FUD coming from everywhere. Yet the price still looks strong. I wonder if we retest some of the lower price points soon, just because we haven't been down there in a while, and we have been getting so much FUD. But on the flip side, who really knows right now? Like, Bitcoin looks strong. You don't want to fade that. We're here for crypto. We don't want to see Bitcoin looking like a Chad and be like, well, fuck you, and sell everything too early or any of that. You want to support the boy.
Yeah. Do you think we're gonna hit 1 million? Is Balaji right?
Oh,
Hyperinflation and 1 million Bitcoin.
sometime in the next 36 hours by my calculations.
Okay. All right. Shit. So
Yeah.
I should get my bids in now. Is what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure 28,000 is less than a million. So yeah, you probably want to buy it
Okay.
now. Yeah.
All right. Let me just quickly empty my bank account, put it into Bitcoin.
Dude, you still have a bank account? What do you hate money? You're gonna lose
No,
it all for you.
I guess so. Unfortunately, I was talking to my landlord, and I was like, hey, can I pay you in Elon Cumcoin? And they said no. So yeah, what's a frog to do, man? Yeah, this Bitcoin stuff, I guess like the recent price pumps is pretty interesting. I have my own sort of pet theory on this, which is, yeah, there's a lot of FUD, but I think that the SEC FUD around the Coinbase Wells notice actually was pretty bullish for crypto. In the sense that for so long we basically haven't known what the hell's going on, right? Like, it's one thing to pick on library or OkiDAO or whatever, the smaller cases that they think they can win pretty easily, as they've been doing. It's another thing entirely to kind of go after the bigger firms, right? Because the smaller firms are probably not going to fight you in court the way that a Coinbase would. So what I've been thinking lately is that kind of like all this uncertainty around what was going to happen on the regulatory side with the SEC in the wake of FTX has been like, right, uncertainty breeds kind of like volatility in price and people not wanting to necessarily commit. And we've seen that in the crypto markets the last 3-4 months. Whereas this kind of, in a lot of ways, puts their cards on the table, the SEC, and as well as Coinbase, right? They're not sitting here being like, all right, we'll pay a fine. They're like, nah, man, see you in court, I guess. And so, yeah, I'm curious what you think about that. If kind of, this event, which people were kind of freaked out about at start, maybe is actually a little bit bullish in that we sort of get to see the SEC's hand a bit, and we get to see kind of one of the bigger players say like, no, we're gonna actually like put our money where our mouth is and actually fight for this.
Yeah, no, I agree with a lot of that. I think it's interesting. I like that the CFTC actually went after it as well. Like that to me is really bullish because it means that they are also willing to throw their hat in the ring and try and get like crypto under commodities. And like that's the more ideal scenario. And so I think it's very clearly like a struggle for power. If you listen to our podcast episode, um, the regulation episode, which is an excellent one. You should check out of GoodWill Yunting if you haven't yet. But it was Adam who was talking about how there's kind of a struggle of power going on of the regulators wanting to be able to call crypto their own so that they get more resources, more ability to regulate entities and things and all that fun stuff. And I think what you were seeing was crypto was we were hit hard after 3AC, we were hit hard after Luna, and especially after FTX. And they were like, okay, now's the time to strike, right? Like they're down and out. There's a lot of FUD. No one's really on crypto's side. Let's attack now. And what you saw is they kind of went after all the big players at the same time, and yet Bitcoin's sitting at 28,000. And what that tells me is the narratives in Bitcoin's favor are a lot stronger than the ones against it. And having that, like you're saying, like having that certainty moving forward, we all knew this was coming at some point, right? Like some level of this. And so like to have our big players be like, nope, we're just fighting back. Throw all the shit you wanted us. We're gonna take it. We're gonna fight back. This is a meaningful fight, and I think the market has responded well to that. I think the fact that we are doing well after all this is bullish, and yeah, I'm happy to see it play out. I don't think the SEC and CFTC are have a good of a hand as they think they do. And I think if this stuff does fall in the favor of crypto in a lot of ways, despite Warren's brilliant, jam-packed army against crypto that we will have to battle on the front lines, life or death. This brilliant army. Uh, I think if we come out the other side with more clarity, with a lot less FUD kind of standing in the way, and I think it would be awesome for crypto. So yeah, I mean, a lot's coming out right now. It's never fun to see, but I think there's a lot of opportunity here on the upside.
Yeah, the CFTC stuff super interesting. I like that you called it out because right, like the SEC is suing Coinbase saying that you're violating security laws by listing these tokens, and I mean I think they even have tried to allude. I think Gary himself has alluded to Ethereum being a security, and then you have the CFTC a week later, like explicitly naming it as a commodity. I mean, they fucking named Litecoin as a commodity too, and that's another side of this, right? Is like how many years ago was the lawsuit against XRP started, right? Like it's not like
Yeah, that was
it's not like
so
oh
long ago. That
I
feels
know,
honestly like forever ago.
and it's still happening, and it's one of these things where yeah, okay, Goldman Gary can sort of jack himself off over, suing fucking library that, you know, isn't exactly a huge player. They're going to absolutely fold and settle, as a lot of smaller projects are. But, the minute that Coinbase, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if Circle gets hit with the Wells notice here in the next weeks or months as well. Like these well capitalized, very big, incredibly compliant, and reasonable organizations headed by effective executives. Saying like, hey, actually, we're not gonna just give you an easy win. We're gonna take this to court. So have fun, man. Like we'll see where this lands in 5 years when you're probably no longer even at this institution. I think like that, like I've been kind of waiting for that. I think, there's been so much like, okay, what's the next action going to be? Does this sort of marginal decision that I've been advised to take in this particular circumstance, is that really going to matter? And I think also, like, if you're a founder, if you're a project, if you're somebody working in the crypto space, I mean, I think the signal that this sends you to is that you actually look like no one should be doing anything super stupid and putting themselves into an obvious compliance risk. But there's been so many hours and so many hours of like time and energy just wasted on people trying to make these very marginal decisions ever so slightly move along the risk curve further and further away from potential action. Whereas this just says, like, I mean, if they're going to go after Coinbase, if they're not even going to tell Coinbase what they're being, investigated for, which is the whole purpose of a Wells notice, I might add, then it's one of those things where it's like, if they want to come after you, they're going to come after you. And if they're coming after the most compliant, the most well capitalized, the most lawyered up company in the entire industry, then your marginal decisions are not going to really stop them from coming after you. And so if you are somebody that's building, if you're somebody that's, kind of been trying to thread the needle, so to speak, I mean, I think it gets you a lot of clarity around kind of like what's the value add of, losing sleep over, marginal decision X versus marginal decision Y.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I think a lot of teams have been really trying to carefully move around the space in terms of regulation. I remember talking to teams building L2s and stuff like that who, said they were worried about releasing tokens because of, the regulation risks or whatever. And there's just so much, like you're saying, uh, doubts around what can and can't be done. And I think you're right. This is one of those things that just turns the conversation as like, okay, it went from, we gotta kind of stay under the line and we'll be fine, to now no one's fine, so let's do whatever's best for us. And then if they're gonna come after us, they're gonna come after us, and there's really nothing we could do. And so I think that is a good point.
Yeah. I mean, and that's not to say like, okay, we have a bit of clarity, but I think you pointed out it's not going to necessarily be smooth sailing from here. We're going to have some bumps in the road, but I do wonder if all of this as well, the timing of this is pretty interesting. If you think about like the political calendar, right? Like on the on the Republican side, you've had candidates sort of starting to do the dog and pony show for months now. I guess it seems like they're going to run the skeleton of Joe Biden again in 2024, so there's not much action happening on that front. But I mean, like you alluded to, Warren's campaign kicking off, and so we're gonna have Senate campaigns, we're gonna have um, congressional House races, stuff at the local level as well as this presidential election. And as we can see, like the politicians are already starting to ramp up now. And there's, I guess, like one of the silver linings that we could see here is that this action, the strong action against the most compliant companies in crypto might have happened actually at the right time in terms of activating a sort of like group of people that are heavily invested, well capitalized, and like very active in kind of thinking about like, okay, well, this is clearly a political fight. It's not an economic fight per se, but it's definitely political. The election cycle, the campaign fund, financing cycle is starting to ramp up now, and now we're activated, we're engaged. So how do you see this potentially influencing kind of like donations, lobbying, political action committees? Like, do you think crypto is gonna kind of show up big for 2024?
Uh, Honestly, no. I just don't think we're organized enough to show up big. I think we'll show up more than we would have, uh, if not for the SEC stuff. But I still just don't think we're organized enough. There's not enough of a plan or a sort of specific set of goals. I mean, we still have infighting between Bitcoin maxis on ETH maxis of like Bitcoin maxis wanting ETH to be a security and like bullshit like that, you know? So I think one of the downsides of losing a lot of the big players and like the faces of crypto is that we are a little lost on the road right now. I mean, because it is so anon dominated, that it's not like your favorite CT anon influenza is going to go out and like run for governor or anything like that, right? And a lot of us are agnostic towards political powers in general. So I think it's a weird situation to be in. I like Brian Armstrong fighting back. Do I think he's going to be the one to like rally all of crypto together for a political movement? Probably not. I think he still has, you know, I just don't know if he's that guy. So I definitely think this has motivated us. I'm skeptical as to how motivated we are politically and how organized that ends up being.
Yeah, I mean that's fair enough. I personally believe in my fellow bald kings to deliver us from the evil that is Gary Gensler and you know, Crazy Liz. Yeah. Well, this was this was fun. I'm gonna I want to keep this one short. Anything else on your mind? Anything you want to end with? Funny tweets, just good shit going on. Anything else on your mind, man?
uh, I don't know. Just shit. Been enjoying the crypto market so far. I mean, it's been fun getting this upward price action, right? Like it's been a while. We were eating shit for so long there. It's nice to see number go up and like in it feels like a healthy way. Like this feels like a pretty healthy upturn. Like there's been still skepticism along the way. No one feels like euphoric, like we're just gonna go to well, except for that one dude who said we're going to 1 million, but everyone else seems pretty level headed, which is nice. But yeah, it's nice to. I mean, and I think the really big bullish things for me now are like there because of the stuff going on with the banks, like the Fed can't just be super aggressive with raising rates. I think they can still slowly raise rates, and that's fine. But it does offer a clear silver lining here. And I think the other thing about the banks is it really is bullish for Bitcoin and crypto's narrative because putting your money in a bank, getting no return on it basically, and also having the risk of it being gone and FDIC apparently just insuring all money in every bank account. So like if JP Morgan goes down apparently and they lose $1 trillion, apparently they'll just print $1 trillion more to make up for the already made up money with more made up money. So I think the narrative for crypto here is actually really strong. I think the stuff that just happened with China, Russia, and Brazil, and them starting their own currency to move away from the dollar, I think that's super bullish for crypto. I think we are seeing a change in mindset here, uh, where again, people are starting to question, like after 2008, like after COVID, people are starting to question, okay, what is this system? What's going on here? Why does it never seem to really work right for me? And uh, people see an opportunity there with crypto, which I think the opportunity has always been, right? An alternate path and one we can kind of like build up ourselves and hopefully make better. And so I think that's actually really bullish for crypto in the medium, short, and long term. And if we do spin up to like a regular old bull market here with, the Fed says they stop raising and equities start going up, I think crypto's really prime position to do well. So I think we are at an exciting time here. I'm not going to say it's up only from here at all. I mean, economic collapse seems like it's always like a jump and skip away. But I do think we're at an exciting time. And I'm hoping that, things keep getting better from here. And really excited for a lot of stuff people are building as well. So
Amen, man. All right. Well, yeah, let's leave it at that. And thanks again for hopping on. This is the first, like, you and I did a few sort of underwater episodes under the GoodWill Yunting banner, and I think let's see how it goes with this spun out. We give you feedback. You know, Let me know what you like, what you don't like, and hopefully we'll turn it into something that people actually want to spend their time listening to.
yeah,
All
man.
right, man.
No, this is awesome, and I'm hyped. You're doing your own thing as well, and we get to collab on it as well. I'm excited for this, and it's been fun. I know you're gonna kill
Awesome.
it.
Thanks, man. Do my best. All right. Well, yeah. Have a good rest of your day, everyone, and yeah, thanks again to Rogue for hopping on. All right, everyone. We will catch you on the next one. Bye.